Okay, good evening and welcome to our webinar. And together we are going to explore critical and creative thinking skills from students, teachers, and CBSE point of view. So let's begin. My name is Simran Sharma, and without waiting much, I'm presenting you a simple uh, riddle. Let's see how many of you can find the answer to it. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Please raise your hand and share your answer if you know it. And you have only 10 seconds.
Mind.
Good try, ma'am. But sorry.
I said mind.
Okay. So the answer is an echo. Okay.
Okay.
It says, without a mouth, it speaks. Hear without ears. Have no body, but come alive with the wind. Okay. To come to this conclusion, what is needed? Logic and reasoning, and little bit of memory recall. Then only you will come to the conclusion that this is an echo that we are talking about. Okay, now let's understand what the study says about critical thinking skills. So, two groups were identified, experiment group and the control group. Experiment group received intervention that they know how to apply critical thinking skills when some task is given, whereas the control group was not given any such intervention. So looking at the graph, when they were, you can very easily see that the experiment group did extremely well as compared to the control group when they were tested for opinion, when they had to come to the conclusion, analyze anything, look for the answer, and etc. Okay, so let's understand, why do we need critical thinkers and creative thinkers? Why do we need them? Reason is, in today's time, we are receiving information from all corners and we are bombarded with the information. So what do we do with the information? These informations are complex. We have to train our students to understand these complex information or problems so that they come to a logical and correct conclusion. Another is to take our student away from the rote learning. Rote learning, we know it has its limited advantage. Average students, when presented with familiar questions, they do it. They answer very well. Whereas if you give them out of the box questions, if you give them hot questions, they are not able to answer these questions. Another reason is, what is CBSE's vision? CBSE is nurturing students to acquire 21st century skills. Why are and how they are going to do it? Unless until they are equipped with both the skills, they won't be able to handle real life situations. Another reason is that it is present in our domain too, which focuses on in inculcating and enhancing cognitive skills for analysis and I request participants to kindly mute yourself. Thank you very much. Now, let's understand what critical thinking is. What is critical thinking? So basically, when you are presented with some kind of information, whether you are able to analyze that information and evaluate that information, that is important. So the objective analysis and evaluation of the information in order to find a judgment, come to a conclusion, is important. Okay, so let's see. Just a minute, please. So what do we need to do? We need to actively engage with the information, not passively receive it. Now, let me make you understand what are we talking about. Suppose you are suffering from some kind of allergy, okay, and you get a social media post that the particular fruit, when you eat, is going to take care of all your allergies. Okay, now passive way is to just accept it and start eating that fruit. But when you engage actively, what do? You go for the source of that information. You find out whether who's presenting it is a normal person from his or her experience, or is it the scientist talking about, or is it somebody with the scientific qualification like doctor is talking about, and what is the say of WHO on it. So if all these things, and you go for the reviews as well, if all these things support the post, then only you should be taking it and utilizing it in your life. So best way is to show skepticism, ask questions, go for logic, reasoning, and go for evidence based conclusions. Remember, okay, that's very important. Now I have a question for you, dear friends. Can you think of a time when you change your opinion after getting new facts? Yes. I'm sure you must have done sometimes. I did it. Okay. So you can share very quickly and in a crisp manner. Have you changed your opinion?
Well,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. I will share it. See, uh, I have seen many posts that in the morning you should take, lemon in squeezed in warm water. Okay. But I later on realized that it is not for me because I have severe acidity issue. Okay. So this information, this remedy won't work for me. And I actually started using it. And later on, when I searched for the reviews and everything, and then I checked with my doctor, doctor said, no, it is not for you. Okay. Now that is what I'm talking about, that you when you say actively engaging. Now let's see what are the pillars of critical thinking. What are the components that we are talking about? We are talking here about.
excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. Even I have an experience
Sure.
to share. Like I also came to know that cider apple is very good for reducing weight in the morning. Right in the morning, take one spoon in one glass.
Exactly.
So when I took on the very second day,
Hmm.
I started having bleeding in my urine.
Oh God. See,
So I immediately stopped it.
that's it. See, this is what I'm talking about when we are engaging actively with the information. Very nice, ma'am. Thank you, Punita, ma'am. Wonderful that you have shared your experience with us. So let's come to what are the components. First is analysis. Let's see, in school we talk about global warming with students. Okay, so what is global warming? Global warming, to understand that, we have to find the causes of global warming. What are the causes? Deforestation can be one, pollution can be one, or it can be greenhouse gases. Okay, so what do you do with that information? Break that information into segments. Okay, and interpret each and every segment, analyze that every segment to draw a conclusion. Now I am sitting in Delhi, I know global warming. If I want to connect it, it would be, I would be connecting it with the pollution. Okay, how? Because of pollution, earth's temperature is increasing, leading to global warming. But how do you combine it with Delhi? Delhi is Delhi, the people have a lot of vehicles. Okay. And because of the human activities like burning of fossil fuel, there is a lot of carbon emission, which increase in carbon emission will lead to increase in Earth's temperature, leads to global warming. This is how you have to, connect the dots. But before you actually come to a final conclusion, you have to take care of one more aspect, one more component, that is self-regulation. What is self-regulation? Whenever you are analyzing the information, make sure that the information that you analyze should be without any bias. It shouldn't be taken care, looked at from limited angle. It should be broadly analyzed, and it should have a scientific backing rather than your opinion. So last one is evaluation, which should be done on some scientific evidences, credibility, and should be relevant. Now I'm shifting focus to creative thinking. What is creative thinking? We just learned that critical thinking is analysis and evaluation, but creative thinking is all about generation. It is all about imagination, thinking out of the box, looking at the situation from different angles, not from one side. And how do we do that? When we look at it in a broader way. For example, by thinking divergent. What is thinking divergent? That is brainstorming. Okay, to understand this, I'll give you one example. Students are given a topic to present water cycle as in the form of a project. Now, they were warned that they should not bring it on a chart, draw the cycle and write few lines about it. Teacher said, I expect something new this time. Okay, so students divided themselves into two groups. One group decided that they will bring, they will present the project in a slow motion animation with a voiceover. Okay, and another group said, fine, we are going to present it in the form of a storytelling method, in which a water droplet is going to tell its story from evaporation to condensation. So what did they do? They imagined these new ways and presented in a most original way. One as an animation form with the voiceover, other one in the form of a story. So imagination and originality is also important from creative thinking to solve problems with new approaches. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever solved a problem in a way that surprised even you? What was it? Yes. I'm sure we all have done something. Abhinya ma'am, you want to say something? Okay. I'm sure we all have done this kind of incorporation, but fine. I will share one such incident where I was, asked to create something very unique during a carnival. Okay, so what I did, I collected lot of Sprite green big bottles, and I started cutting them from the bottom towards upside in strips, keeping the neck and the upper part intact. Once all are cut, and then I place them upside down in a pot with the wooden rod kept placed in it and placed through the wooden rod in a series. So how it came out, it turned out to be into a beautiful Christmas tree. And I decorated it with lots of small toys and things, which was appreciated by everybody. And even I was surprised that I could, come out with such a solution. Yes, somebody wants to say something? I could hear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Ma'am, once in previous session, I made deformities in our backbone. So I made paper pulp, and then with that pulp, I made backbone, and then I showed down the deformities like scoliosis and all with that. So it came out very well, and
Excellent.
everybody loved it.
Excellent, ma'am. What a wonderful idea. No, very good.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing with us. Okay, let's move on to.
Shall I also share, Simran ma'am?
Yeah, please, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay, hi. This side Sugandhini. So what happened? I was actually there was first time we have organized a science exhibition in the school. So we were like we wanted to present about planets we wanted to show. So then we took lot of balls and with the help of big small balls, we decorated with the silver foil even. So we used different kinds of balls, and then we decorated on a ceiling with the thread. And then the kids were like, with the lights even, I made a few lightnings so that the kids could even enjoy. And with the cloud, with the cotton, I made the clouds. And it was, and on the one side of the sun was there. So whole scenario looked so pretty, and everyone was astonished to see. So
I'm sure, ma'am, children would have loved it. And it, like the way you
thank you.
describe it, looks so interesting, and I'm sure it turned out very beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you so
Sujatini,
much.
ma'am. Okay, moving on.
Ma'am,
If you look at the,
yes.
if you look at the,
Simran ma'am, I would like to share.
yes, ma'am.
Simran ma'am, this is
Shyamala, ma'am.
Shamla.
Yes,
Yeah, so I'm from Bangalore.
right.
During our science fest, so we decorated. We all the children have done their science experiments, and we were ready to go for them. The parents were visiting, so we were all set for that day. All of a sudden, one of our directors came in, and then they said that there should be something to display in between, because our topic was something to do with our environment. Okay,
Right.
so I didn't know it is a last minute plan. So I thought I have to depict something model they wanted me to show. So within a day, I immediately I thought of a plan. Immediately, I took a yoga ball, and I actually pasted it with all paper, with colorful papers. I mean, to show the Earth,
Right.
okay, globe. So it was a very big ball, and I kept it on a stool, and then it came out really very well. It was a model, and it was a last moment plan, and it came out really very well. And I think yeah, we got very good appreciation also as a group. And this actually last moment plan really worked very well. Other than those whatever that they were displaying in our science exhibition, more than that, this actually attracted everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
This was
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing it. I would request everybody to be a little more crisp because we are running short of time here. Okay. Thank you, Shamala, ma'am. It was really wonderful. Okay. So look at,
thank you.
right. So if you look at the graph here, you can see when the students were given a project on maths learning, both experiment group as well as the control group could show creativity. First one in fluency, other one is flexibility. Now let's understand what it is, because whether they are given some intervention or not, everybody can apply creative thinking skills, but we have to motivate and guide them how to do it. Okay, so moving on, let's see what are the components of creative thinking. Key components are fluency, flexibility. What is fluency? Generating lots and lots of ideas. Any problem that you have, for example, you are facing plastic pollution in your community. So what do? You come together, generate lots of ideas, and zoom in on one particular idea and look at it from multiple angles, like whether it is feasible, economical, socially acceptable, scientifically, it is the best idea. That is flexibility. Coming to originality, whatever solution you are looking for should have some originality. Like, don't go for door to door campaign, nobody is interested. Rather go for design an app where everybody is connected and will get up day to day updates. Elaborate on that. Okay, like how that app would be, whether that app is only basic one, or you want to have some rewards also in that. Curiosity, excuse me. So yeah, so looking at different solutions, the most important thing here is look at it from a very different angle that show curiosity. Look at it, why, when we all know that the plastic is not good for us and it is not good for our environment, why still people are using it? So unless until you know this, whatever solution you are coming to is not going to help much. And another component is risk taking. once you decide that we are going to have a solution, you have to take some hard steps. For example, you can check people for that if they are still not following rules. You can impose some penalty also. So you have to see to that it is acceptable by all. Now, this here it becomes very powerful. Okay, when critical thinking is combined with creative thinking. Let me tell you, both the thinkings, they complement each other. They do not work in isolation. Okay, so what is creative thinking is, as we have already discussed, generating lots and lots of ideas, and then whichever idea you want to go for, you have to critically analyze it. For example, scientists, they propose many hypotheses. Okay, but when they critically analyze it by lot different types of experiments, on the basis of the evidence, only they can say whether the hypothesis can be acceptable, or they just refute the hypothesis and then they don't take that hypothesis. So it is very important that both these thinkings work hand in hand. Just a minute, please. Okay, now what is the CBSE take on this? In the beginning, I said that we are going to look at it from CBSE point of view. CBSE says that it's important. Why? Because it aligns very well with NEP 2020, and it's a gradual shift from content knowledge to competency based learning. This also train our students to look for difficult solution, difficult problems, and prepare them for higher order thinking skills. That is important from board exam point of view and competitive exam point of view. Also equip students to tackle real world issues. This encourages students to think innovatively and become entrepreneurs. So they self-employ themselves as well as generate a lot of job opportunities for others also. Now I have a question. What does the CBSE expect teachers to do in order to develop critical and creative thinking skills in students? How would you make sure that they have both the skills and they utilize it? Yes, ma'am. Shamla, ma'am, would you like to share? Okay, so basically,
Simran, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
So that they come out of the box.
Yes, absolutely right, ma'am. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so what are the strategies for cultivating critical things? The foremost strategy is allow them to ask questions. Why? How? What if? Unless until they inquire, they ask, they won't get real solutions. How do they do that? How to ask? It can be in the form of debate, it can be in the form of discussion. So encourage them that the debate should be based on reasoning, some kind of logic. Okay. Another way is to evaluate their source. When they are presenting their reasoning, they should have a proper source, based on proper source, and it should not be based on anybody's bias. Okay. Another way is by problem solving, problem based learning, so that they are well prepared for the real world scenario. When they debate and discuss, they should observe each other's for logical fallacies. That means they have to observe what is the mistake and the errors other debater or the participant is making. Avoid that. Now come to strategies for creative thinking. What are the strategies? Foremost is the brainstorming session. See, when you look at the problem and you are looking for ideas, first thing in the creative thinking is to generate a lot of ideas. So here quantity is more important than quality in the initial stage. Once you zoom into one solution, okay, visualize that solution in your mind. Okay, visualize it in your mind and connect the dots. You can encourage students to use camper method, which is a tool. Suppose they're given a problem. So ask them, can you substitute something in this? Can you combine something in this? Can you adapt something, modify, put to another use, eliminate or reverse? For example, they have to modify a chair. How to do it? Substitute the seat with foam, have some storage space, make it a rocking chair, or use it for a planter, eliminate the backrest, or have a detachable table on the top so that it can be used in the meetings to put a laptop. So once you decide what you are going to do, create a prototype and test it. Okay, always have open-ended project, allow students to have diverse solution. How to bring it to the classroom? By incorporating into your subjects. Okay, have proper assessment which requires analysis, synthesis and evaluation based questions. Motivate students to go for group projects because that help them understand each other and come to a good very viable and very productive solution. Always give constructive feedback that encourages deeper thinking. Okay, how there would be lot of hurdles. We will not have time, teachers are not well trained, students are unfamiliar with the methods, they show resistance, and assessment, we don't know how to assess them. But when we implement it gradually, update ourselves with the new skills and encourage them to have inquiry-based classroom culture and a proper formative assessment, this is possible. Now, this empowers, both the skills empower our next generation because these skills are indispensable. They are very helpful in academic career and real life situations, and they make our students global citizens and make sure they have it because both the skills are very vital in every student's life. Okay, I have a small video which I can share it little later. Okay, fine, I'll just play it. See.
Are you worried about getting left behind in a world that's always changing?
It's a summary.
You're not alone. But here's the good news. Your mind is your best tool for the future. Critical and creative thinking aren't just fancy buzzwords. They're your ticket to success in school, life, and whatever comes next. Let's break it down. Critical thinking means looking beyond the obvious, asking questions and not taking everything. It's about sorting facts from opinions and making smart decisions, even when things get complicated. But don't stop there. Creative thinking is about imagining the possibilities. It's brainstorming wild ideas, connecting dots in new ways, and daring to solve problems nobody's ever solved before. Think about the people who invented TikTok electric cars, or even that weird snack combo everyone's obsessed with. They all used a mix of critical and creative thinking. Here's the cool part. These skills aren't just for geniuses. Anyone can learn them, including you. Start by asking more questions in class. Challenge yourself to find new solutions to old problems. Get comfortable with being curious, even if you don't have all the answers right away. The future belongs to those who can think differently and act boldly. So, are you ready to train your mind and shape your own future?
Okay, now I have two questions for you. In your opinion, which skill is harder to develop, critical thinking or creative thinking, and why? May I have some answers, please, here? Which one is difficult? Yes, Rita.
They think critical thinking.
Critical thinking, ma'am.
Under critical thinking.
Critical thinking करेंगे
Okay,
तो
and
फिर
why it
creative
is so?
करेंगे ना.
Why?
और जबरदस्ती लेके आ गई थी अब मैंने मना क्या करती मुझे कुछ पसंद आ रहा था हमारे घर में
You
तो नहीं
have to
होती
think out of the box.
वो नहीं
Yes,
होती
yes. It is like you have to think, change your way that you think. It's not the usual way of thinking. You have to train yourself to look from very different angles. Can you share one example where you use both critical and creative thinking together to solve a problem? That actually is most of our problems. It cannot be only with the critical thinking skills or with creative thinking skills. Like I am presenting right now, it has both. So, creativity is also there, and how and what I'm going to say is also part of critical thinking. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, I will leave you
Yes.
with a thought. The essence of the independent mind lies not in what it thinks, but in how it thinks. Please remember this and think about it. Okay. It is not what we think when we look at the problem. It is how we have to think and look for the solutions while looking for the solutions. Okay. So, if you have any questions, please ask, because we do have 1 or 2 minutes, I suppose.
Ma'am, I have a question. Can I ask you?
Please, ma'am.
So hi, I just the question which you really asked us before, critical thinking one. So I just want to know, what if you have to think something, if you have to make some creative thing, and in which you need to involve critical thinking and creative thinking both. So
See,
what would you be doing it in the class?
just a minute, ma'am. Okay. So we actually discussed so many examples. I'll give you another example. Suppose we are facing this thing, a problem of students bringing plastic tiffin to the school. Okay. And we want to encourage them to shift it to a metal lunch box. So there are ways we can propose that, okay, we'll have a cutlery which is edible, especially say spoons can be made of chocolate or jaggery. Okay, and another is we can play a jingle in the cafeteria and make them listen and hope that they will, understand and realize that bringing plastic tiffin is not a good thing. Another is by designating one particular day in the week to declare it as a plastic free lunch break. Okay, so these are the creative ideas. Okay, now let's analyze it critically. So first was having a spoon of jaggery or chocolate. So when you look at it closely, it is very appealing from students' point of view, and they will enjoy. But won't it be messy, especially in summers? And what are the logistics? How are we going to get it? Who's going to manufacture it for us? So this idea is out of the window. Second is
Right.
playing a jingle. So as such, children talk so much in the cafeteria. You playing a jingle, nobody's paying attention to it. I am very sure of it. And
Right. I was about to say that actually.
yeah, and who's going to create that jingle? So let's look at the third option. Third option is that you declare one particular day as plastic free cafeteria day or lunch break. Yes, that is feasible. That is logical. Okay, that can be done. So we can, declare Green Friday challenge where students are motivated to bring, glass tiffin or metal tiffin, and they will be rewarded with something with stars or some special announcement and some certificate, and those who won't follow, they will be given a small quote about why it is important to have a plastic free Friday. Okay, so that is how I am going to bring both the
Critical thinking and creative thinking.
Yes, yes. I hope I was able to bring, proper.
Perfectly. Perfectly. You did it. Seriously.
Thank you so much. And anyone else, please come forward and share your